Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. We're going to have a after-action review of an incident that just happened and go over some immediate lessons learned. More so I can just have a record of it so I can think about it better tomorrow. And maybe you can learn something from it and take, what I'm going to tell you and make it your own, add your own twist to it. So we were laying in bed, wood stove merrily crackling away, and we were both watching something different on our phones. I was watching The Man in the High Castle. Not a bad show. And my wife was watching something else, and we both had earbuds in, and she tapped me. That's like our little warning signal. So I hit pause, pull my earplug out, and I look at her. Because we don't necessarily speak right away. And then she's like acting like she's listening. And I thought maybe her phone was like tracking her or something, or I didn't know. And she goes, "Do you hear that?" And really, I still had the one earbud in my ear. The one next to her I'd taken out, so I'm hearing nothing out of this ear and the crackling of the fire and stuff. So I took it out, and yeah, there's a weird noise outside. Kind of echoing, kind of weird. Just what the heck is that? So I'm laying there. I usually keep a headlamp on my head at night. It's laying around here somewhere, right here, until I go to sleep. So if I have to get up, I can see. It's my through night headlamp. See, I don't lie to you guys. I really do like them. So that's on my head, and I'm wearing sweats. And so I'm like, I don't know. So I secure my handgun, which is right there handy, and I've got my light on. I turn the light on to find my shoes. I put my Crocs on, like house slippers, and I turn off the light, and I crack the door, and I'm hearing like commotion going on. So I step out on my porch, and it sounds like it's in this direction, let's say, up by my neighbor's house. And it just sounded like, I don't know, like animal sound, not people sound. And dogs barking, like going off. And I'm thinking maybe dogs are attacking my neighbor's cows. But the last cow I saw up in that direction was a bull, and ain't nothing attacking that. But he does have some calves, and I'm thinking, all right, something's going on. So I told my wife, come on, let's go. She's like not able to get dressed quick enough to go. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to run out there. I'm going to run up to my neighbors and see what's going on. So I grab my shotgun because, a handgun is just to fight your way back to the rifle you shouldn't have set down in the first place. But I'm thinking, all right, I'm just going up the road to my neighbor's house, something going on with critters. And I immediately regret the fact that, another long story, I'm supposed to have 4 buck in my shotgun, and I have 4 shot. Too late now. And so I grabbed the shotgun. I've got my 9mm, and I'm going to go get in the car because we're just ready to go and squirt up the road. And when I get out to the car, I realize it's not coming from this way because we live in the mountains, right? So echoes. It's coming from down in the valley. And it's a heck of a commotion. Every dog in the valley is barking. And it sounds like there's it sounded like a coonhound to me. Well, my wife was inside. I was outside, and it's like, but going off, and the cows are going off. And then the next thing you know, this like pack of about 20 coyotes goes off. And I honestly thought like an earthquake was going to happen. And so I yell from outside, "Get dressed!" And I decide, maybe there's something going on with my goats. I've got goats down near the valley in a pretty secure cage, but still, a pack of dogs attacked them down there once before. So I come back into the house, and I want to have something a little bit more formidable. And so I have a set of overalls and a set of zip-up boots, which I don't normally like zip-up boots, but they're like zip-up Air Force combat boots. And so I throw on the overalls, I throw on the zip-up boots, I stick another pistol, my .45, in one pocket, and I grab my rifle and a bright light. And I'm going to ride my four-wheeler down to the valley, which is a ways, and maybe protect my goats, see what's going on. And so I get that stuff, and honestly, it took me too long. Again, that's why I have the coveralls and the boots, so I can zip up and, battle stations, and get out of here. It took me too long. And when I say too long, what do you think? From when I came in to when I left the second time.
Couldn't have been 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was probably about 3 minutes, but it felt like an eternity. And so, but now I have 2 handguns, my headlamp, I'm properly clothed, I have good boots on, I have overalls on, I have a coat on, I have a hat on, and I have a rifle. And so I go out there, I'm going to get on the four-wheeler and take off, and it's all quiet. So what I did is I moved in the direction of the valley into the woods. It's a bright moon tonight. And I stood in the shadow of a tree about 20 yards away from my house, and I just listened. Oh, I forgot part of the story. When the coyotes went off, when I was out there the first time in my sweats with my shotgun and my pistol, I went boom into the woods, hoping that if coyotes were attacking the goats, it would scare them away, because it sounded like they were down there. And that one dog was going, woo, 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 and I thought I heard a person's voice. Rah, rah, rah. Again, quarter mile away, down in the valley, but on my property. And so that's when I came in and got duded up. And I was going to go down there and see what was going on. And when I went out again, it was quiet. No dogs were really barking. And so then I moved into the wood line away from my house, but in the direction of where all the commotion had been. And I just stood there in a shadow and waited for, 10 minutes just listening. And it was all fine. Nothing. I think what probably happened, if I had to guess right now, is somebody was coon hunting. And they figure it's dark, it's night, it's cold, nobody's out here, and they ended up on my property. Not that they, set out to go on there, but kind of when you're coon hunting, you kind of follow your dogs. And then I think when I shot the shotgun in that direction, a quarter mile away sounds like a long ways, but at night when someone's got a shotgun pointed in that direction, I bet you that sounded really loud. And I think they decided it was time to egress Shofar Mountain. And so I got dressed, I went back out there, intending to drive down, but it was all quiet, and so I just stood there in the shadows for a while, and then I came back. And I told my wife, we need to work a couple things out. Number one, I have 2 really good radios right here, charged up, hanging on the wall, next to the big old flashlight that I grabbed. This thing is like an aircraft, I'm not going to turn it on. It's like an aircraft landing light on a sling. And the radios are right next to it. I didn't grab the radios. And we said this last time we had an incident like this, that before somebody takes off, somebody's got to have a radio, and somebody's got to take a radio, and we got to turn them on. I did tell my wife, arm yourself, and she grabbed a gun and had it at hand and locked the door when I left. So I need to take radios. I don't have my plate carrier with all my stuff on it in the bedroom, so to speak. But I got to thinking, it might have been good to throw a plate carrier on if you're going to go riding down into God knows what with your rifle. But the thing is, we have a small house. I don't know that I want a plate carrier hanging on the wall. I got to figure something out with that, but I'm probably going to do that. And then my wife said, because I told her, hey, you need to figure out how to get dressed quicker, to get out of here. Because really at one point I thought it was going to be an earthquake. And nobody cares if Sister Kate runs out into the front yard in her all in all, but what if it's an earthquake followed by something else? You kind of want to be properly dressed, right? And she said, yep, you need to get me one of those things like you have. So that's on the shopping list. I'm going to get her a coverall. Just step into it and zip it up and you're ready to go. I'm going to put some things in my coverall. That was my initial plan, and I didn't do that yet. I might get her a pair of zip-up boots too, just 'cause. And I have a weapons light for my rifle. Where is it? I think it's in my gun case. I need to put that back on, the rifle. So, there. Put the weapons light on the rifle, get my wife a set of coveralls and maybe a set of side zip boots. Hand out radios when you need to. Plate carriers. Might as well throw the helmet in there with it, right? When things go bump in the night, all is well. Right now my dogs are on patrol outside. I'll see you out there.